The last 10 years have placed this consortium as the entity to go to in viral hemorrhagic fevers. I don't think, to our knowledge, and I think we are very knowledgeable about what everybody else is doing in this space, nobody else in the world really has the presence in Lassa fever that we do at any level. There's more competition in Ebola. Lassa fever, as I mentioned, I think it could finally become a commercially viable entity all its own, just because of the renewed interest. And recently, at the World Economic Forum in Davos, a new entity was formed. It's a consortium for the epidemic preparedness for infectious diseases, or short for CEPI. European Union, Gates Foundation, and the Wellcome Fund have come together and decided to put together $700 million to develop vaccines for what they consider to be the greatest risks to humankind from a pandemic standpoint. And so the requests for proposals have already been put out, and the three agents that they're looking for is MERS, Nipah, and Lassa. So Lassa, through the WHO, WHO obviously contribute to putting together a list of agents that were of highest priority, and so they've realized that Lassa is one of them, and I would have to say that it's the work of this consortium that it just really put Lassa on the map over the last decade. If there's one thing that we need, let me put it that way, is awareness. I feel that neglected infectious diseases are just that, are neglected, primarily because where the funding and the resources exist, those diseases are not present. So, a wealthy nation like the US or a wealthy conglomerate of nations like the European Union don't see malaria, they don't see Ebola, they don't see Lassa, they don't see Nipah, they don't see a lot of these diseases that are highly neglected. But I think the world is changing in such a way that the transmission of these diseases will become an issue. And I think the Ebola outbreak taught us that it can happen. And even with all the resources and the ability for us to test, to mitigate these problems, they still sneaked into our borders and certainly to the European Union. And they can come unannounced. Next time, it could just be a problem that you don't realize that it's happening until it's really rooted in Europe or in the US or Japan or anywhere else. So awareness is really very, very important. Institutes like the NIH are amazing. They are absolutely unique in the world in their ability to really understand these problems from the standpoint that they remain kind of hidden from the common person and the news and the reading that we do and the space that we live in, like the internet, but they are real. And so exposure is something that is going to be very critical. We tend not to tackle problems until they happen, and I think that being prepared is something that goes against human nature, but is something that we absolutely need. Maryland Tech Council is, obviously an organization that lends itself to helping budding entrepreneurs. So when I came to Maryland, I just got associated with them through the Germantown Innovation Center and the personnel there that obviously made that a connection, that association, and it's a great entity to be associated with from many standpoints, not just in terms of helping to procure funding, but also in establishing collaborations and just bringing people together from, not just biotechnology, but from all facets of the high-tech industry that sometimes you just never know by meeting somebody what can come of it, even if they're not in your field. So MTech is just the kind of the aspect in the county that and in Maryland that brings entrepreneurs together to accomplish their goals. I mean, they're pretty instrumental in helping.